First, I think we saw today coming 3 weeks ago. Would that be safe that we saw today coming 3 weeks ago? Did you figure out they were just probably going to cancel 3 weeks and they postponed?
Yeah, I think the minute they postponed it, we all knew it was over.
So
there's any with wrestling being what it is, and kids having to make weight, and trying to not train and have any contact with your kids, and expect there to be a real state tournament, because I thought was real unlikely.
yeah, I had this feeling right away, like this just can't work. It can't work. And like I talked to Zach Matten, and Zach Matten was a massive 113 pounder, right?
Yeah.
How's that guy hold his weight down long enough? You know what I mean? Like that's hard. Let alone they're growing, they're adolescents, they're kids, and then to hold your weight down for those extra couple, would have been over a month. You know what I mean? Like I just don't think it was a thing they could have done.
I don't think so either. Yeah, I think there's a lot of kids that just wouldn't have ever make the weight anymore.
Yeah, so you guys had an unbelievable district tournament. You had 8 qualifiers out of the district. Did Cole take third at the district?
He did. He ended up on the Liscio side and walked 2-1.
So I look at his career. Cole Hivnor's about to pop off. Something's gonna happen. Something's finally gonna go his way, dude. This could have been the year. You know what I mean? Like that guy has had a lot of heartbreak. He's lost in 2 semifinals. He's right there though. You know what I mean? Like something's gonna eventually fall your kid's way. What's this like, and how do you keep his spirit and the other 7 qualifiers and the rest of the team? How do you as the head coach at Lake Catholic, how do you keep them in good spirits?
Well, when this first came out, I was 30 minutes away and drove straight to Lake Catholic and pulled everybody out of class and had them come down to the wrestling room and just tried to relate to them as best I could. I mean, I think I was more maybe broke up than those guys were. The kids are really, really resilient, and they seem to take a pretty long stride. And but since that day, we've been in this non-contact period, so I haven't been able to talk to anybody other than my own son. But later tonight, now that it's official, I'm gonna put some contact out to our guys and talk to them about what they can do at home, and it's on to the next thing, I guess, for us.
It was crazy because Graham didn't get 12 guys to their district, and that's the big thing. Like you guys were right there. You were in a position to get one of the 2 trophies, in my opinion. I mean, would you have been surprised if Lake Catholic would have went and got either a gold or silver trophy? I wouldn't have been.
Nobody expected it, but when the brackets came out, I really thought that we had the capability of putting 3 guys in the finals and maybe 3 champs. And if we could have got 3 guys in the finals with, some other placers, I think we could have been right there. I
mean, just stuff like that's heartbreaking, but you're all in the same boat. Everybody's in the same boat here, Coach Hivnor, right? Like it's not like St. Ed's got an advantage and they're wrestling their tournament. Nobody's wrestling their tournament, right?
Yeah. I guess maybe the unfortunate thing is that every other state in the world got to wrestle their state tournament, and Ohio's the only state that didn't get to compete.
Yeah, some guy from PA hit me up and he's like, "You got to interview some PA coach," and I was like, wait a minute, did PA's tournament get canceled? And he was like, no, but you should interview him. And I'm like, well, the story right now, man, is how are all these people dealing with this extraordinary situation? All the PA guys are home with their medals. They all got to wrestle their state tournament. And it was like, right. Will Knight put out the tweet of all tweets. Will Knight's like, if the OHSAA would have just started their season a week like they started it a week later this year. And listen, hey, I know what Will's doing there, and he's not wrong. But at the same time, this is the most unforeseen thing that could have happened, right? Like, no one predicts this. You and I we've never seen anything in this in our life. You're 50, I'm 40. We've never seen anything like this, right?
Nope. Probably never will again.
I sure hope not, so your parents, my parents are around the same age. They're in their 70s. They're the big risk factor, right? And and we know Tom Miller's an ironhead, right? A blockhead. Were your parents trying to go to the tournament and watch Cole?
Oh yeah, they were. They were ready to get on the plane and come. And even after, we just got the 4, we still had a ticket for them, and they were still coming. There's no talking my parents out of coming to watch their grandson Russell.
Yeah, and my dad was the same way. He was just not having it. You know what I mean? Like he was gonna go. He was one of my nephew Wyatt qualified. He was one of his 4 tickets. You know, it was going to be my brother Tate, his wife, Wyatt's sister, and my dad was going to be the 4th. You know what I mean? Like, just you weren't talking the guy out of it. And he flew up. He watched the SBC, or he watched the sectionals of the district, and then, you know, he didn't get to watch the state tournament, but he eventually, my mom was down in Florida by herself, so he flew back. Not advisable.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, don't fly back. That's a horrible decision. But you know what? He's a blockhead. We know that, right? Like, you can't tell him anything, right? Yeah. Moving forward, how do you guys take, you know, momentum in the next season? You got 6 qualifiers back, 2 placers back, from previous state tournaments. How do you capitalize on some momentum from that district tournament at least?
Well, I think our guys had it in their head that they want to win a state title, if not this year, next year. So, you know, we got a great bunch of kids, a great bunch of parents, and an unbelievably good coaching staff. And, you know, as soon as we can get back in Lake Catholic dressing room, we're going to go back to work. And if it's NHSCA, that'll be the next event. If not, maybe it'll be a regional. I don't know what's going to happen with the regionals or freestyle states, and then on to Fargo. I'm assuming some of those events are going to happen. You know, but our guys will go right back to work and start working towards next year. And, you know, we think we can be in the mix again next year.
Yeah, and if you look at your brother's team had 3 for sure guys that could have been finalists and champs. So there's like, you know, like Norwalk had 3 guys that could win. You know?
Yeah, there's state champ at 70-something, I don't know.
70? Is it 70-some years?
1975.
Oh, 75, okay.
Dan Pugh had won in the 70s, and they haven't had a state champ since.
What do you guys talk about? When you talk to your brother about this, you know, you guys were both in a really good position this year. We were going to see Norwalk on the board. I really like the 70-pounder. That guy's a stud. 95, and then was it Maloney, the other one? I mean, they got 3 guys that could win. What are you and him talking about? What are your conversations like with your brother about? What's he talking about? What's he saying about that?
Oh, I think they're disappointed, you know, being that they're all 3 seniors and, you know, had the capability. All 3 of them had a chance to win, and we're wrestling really, really well, and we're going to be in the mix to win. And, you know, I think they wanted to get a champ on the board, if not multiple champs on the board. And unfortunately, you know, they lose that opportunity, and those 3 seniors go on to the next chapter of their lives.
And I think all 3 of them are going D1.
Hernandez is going to Penn. I believe Gabe is going to go to
Cleveland State, yeah. And then
Maloney's playing Division I football. Maybe PG.
Yeah, I think Maloney's going to play football. I don't know though, but like they're all 3 D1 athletes. So we know that, right? I mean dude, that's a tough pill to swallow, man. That's like in this whole story, that might be the biggest story. Like that school right there, man. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, Eric Burnett's team was in a great position. Elyria, that was obviously another big story. You know, like they were going tit for tat with St. Ed's. I mean, dude, it was going to be a great tournament. But what do you say to you have 2 seniors, right, that you're going to end up losing?
Yeah.
What do you say to those guys? Now that you have contact with them, what can you say to them?
Well, Owen Weaver, our 95-pounder, who probably was maybe the guy who wasn't supposed to get out of the districts, but we thought all along that he could. He's got that from Russell in college. He's going to go to Dayton. And then our 38-pounder, Nicky Carino, he's going to wrestle. We're not sure where. Maybe BW or Ohio or something like that wants to do next year.
Okay.
We got great kids. They're just great kids.
Yeah.
And, I feel terrible for them, but I guess that's the reason. I'm just not sure what the reason is here just yet.
It's so crazy, the uncertainty for them. Like those guys, we don't know if they're gonna get their prom, their graduation. Like think about that. Like at least Cole's a junior. Cole's got another year. Hopefully, Cole's got another year. We don't have another, flare up of this thing. But Cole's at least got another year. You know what I mean? Like, what's a senior parent do right now? And not even just wrestling, right?
Yeah. Yeah, there's so many kids that I feel terrible for. Ethan Hatcher of Bexville is this absolute monster. Doesn't get a chance to win a title.
Yeah. Carmody.
There's a lot out there.
Yeah, Jimmy Carmody. How about him?
Yeah, Jimmy Carmody, another kid who could win a title. Victor's already won a title, but still, doesn't get the opportunity to win 3.
Jeez,
there's
Pete.
so many different kids.
How about now we're never going to be able to see Seth Shoemate win 4 state titles. That guy's one of the biggest freaks in Ohio. Ironman champ as a sophomore, state champ as a freshman, highest weight ever. And now we don't get to see that guy be a 4-time state champ. That's crazy, right? There's going to have to be an asterisk next to his name, right?
Yeah, that kid's an absolute monster.
Yeah, the stories are crazy, man, and it's all around. Like, I just can't think of them. And you guys are in there though, like, because you had 8 qualifiers. Nobody had 8 qualifiers coming for Lake Catholic. You had just as many as Graham, Louisville, Aurora. What did Graham have? 9 or 8?
Don't quote me. I want to say us and Graham had 8, and Louisville and Aurora had 7.
They had 7. So you guys are right there, man. That's what's wild. And the amount of parity in Division II this year was awesome as well. Louisville knocking off Graham in the state duels. That was good for wrestling. And then obviously, there was some parity in Division I, even though St. Ed's won. I mean, they were down 20-0 to Elyria and stormed back and won 36-30. And then, Edison obviously has Edison. How about them?
Yeah, what a great team.
Yeah, a great team. Like, I would say they might have been one of the top 3 teams in Ohio. And in a duel, they might not have been able to beat. I mean, they're right there with Louisville, Graham. Oh, yeah. The only 2 teams they might not be able to beat in a duel are St. Ed's and Elyria. And maybe they beat Wadsworth in a duel. Yeah, they beat Wadsworth and Perrysburg in a duel. Yeah, they're the real deal, man. So that's another crazy story. Coach Herms, he's built a really good thing there. They're going to be back, though. You know what I mean? They're going to be like you guys. They got a lot of those guys are coming back. Most of those guys are coming back except for the 195.
Yeah, I'm in negotiation with the old baby trying to get him on the schedule.
Yeah, I'd like to see that. That would be good. Yeah, if you guys could duel them. Yeah. Where do we go from here now, Coach? Like, what are you doing for work right now?
I'm self-employed. I'm a real estate appraiser, and we are a critical business. So I'm continuing to work.
You're going into homes and appraising homes. Do you have to go into a home always to appraise it?
Most of the time, yes. Fannie Mae and some of the lenders are now starting to allow us to do drive-bys, or exterior onlys, I should say, and not actually go in.
That's hard. That's real hard. Especially if the house has a basement. That's real hard.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because there's a lot going on with the basement, as you and I know, with foundation. But when you look at this, obviously the devastation to our economy and things like that, and it's going to obviously it's not going to trickle down. It's a part of real estate because now people can't move homes because I don't know. Your wife is a realtor. Can she do showings right now? I'm guessing not.
They are, believe it or not, doing some showings. A lot of the customers are saying, "Hey, we don't want anybody in the house," and they're using a high-end camera to do some virtual video stuff. That's so they're showing houses virtually.
That's crazy. So it would be like this, like on my YouTube, or you could because FaceTime, like you're saying, can be grainy, right? As you're going to see this video, this is actually a pretty good video that you're going to see. We could do it with my camera. We could probably do the virtual. But, that's hard. That's a part of the deal. That, I know that my brother Ferd, he's an iron worker. They still have guys doing jobs because they're working on, Air National Guard and stuff like that on bases, which we all know that's as essential as it gets as far as defense. But, me, Chad, my brother Chad and I, we're obviously, he's at Woodmore, I'm at Riverside. I don't think we're going to go back to school. Is Lake Catholic going to go back? Have you heard anything?
I haven't heard anything. I'm with you, though. I don't think we're going to go back. I think it's going to be online the rest of the way.
As a parent, how do you feel about that? I'm not super stoked about my kids ever doing anything online. I'm a face-to-face guy, you know what I mean? I'm not, as much stuff as I put on the internet, I'd rather be talking to you face-to-face. With the circumstances, obviously, we can't do that with an infectious virus. that's at epidemic, a pandemic level, right? But like, how do you feel about that, Cole, just doing online classes right now?
I'm not a fan. Even like in my own work, I have to do continuing education every year, and there's very few face-to-face classes anymore. Everything's online, and I don't like it. I don't get the same out of it as I do in a face-to-face situation. So, no, I definitely think it's not ideal. The face-to-face would certainly be my preference.
I like the accountability that's involved. That if I say something to you that you don't like, that maybe you're going to pick some headgear up and throw them at me, or kick me in the shin, or I don't know. Maybe your kid will be on his hands and knees behind me and you'll shove me over. I don't, like it's the playground. I don't know. I like the accountability of that though.
Yeah, me too.
I'm serious. I like being able to look people right in the face and ask them real questions and get their response. But obviously this doesn't call for it. Where do you think, as a dad, you're in the recruiting process? I talked to Eric Burnett about it. Where are you in the recruiting process with Cole? Obviously, if he wants to be a D1 guy, he's a D1 guy. He said Cleveland State was one he had taken an unofficial to. Pitt. Those are two city campuses, and they're local cities to you guys as far as, Pitt's 2 hours away, 40 minutes to downtown Cleveland. What do you think of those? And as a dad, how are you in the recruiting process?
Just trying to guide him as best I can. At the end of the day, it's Cole's decision. I've kind of urged him to kind of keep all options open and, consider D2s, consider D1s, get on some campuses, meet some coaches, meet some, some teams, and, just try to make a good decision of what fits, him program-wise and coach-wise and academically and campus and, proximity from home and all those kind of good things that are important to him. This kind of puts a monkey wrench in things. We had, expectations of doing officials this time of year. We had some stuff scheduled actually, and obviously that's all put on hold. So I'm assuming the officials will come in the fall. And initially the plan had been to make a decision before next season started and kind of get that off his plate and kind of go through his senior year without the pressure of having to figure that out and sign. But the process is going to get pushed back a little ways.
Also, it's a situation where we put so much stock into it. I talked to all these college coaches, and that's really where I know Jim Anderson really likes to see if a guy can win an Ohio State tournament. I know that Scott Goodell wanted to see if Dylan Shawver could win a state title this year. You know what I mean? That's one of his guys. He wants to see that guy win. We put a lot of stock into this as far as recruiting. And I know you and I, we're old school Ohio people. It's a big deal to win a state title in Ohio.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's a real bummer to not get a chance to wrestle and prove where you're at. And so yeah, I don't know how colleges are going to handle it if Ohio gets put on the back burner because they don't get to see what you did, or if it puts more weight on junior duels. I don't know if we'll get to do junior duels this year, but I hope. I hope we do that again. Fargo, maybe NHSCA, certainly Super 32. All of a sudden become more, I don't know, pressure packed maybe.
Yeah, no, it really does. And you guys never hide from Iron Man either. You're always at Iron Man. I always see you there.
Yeah, no, we had 5 guys do Iron Man this year. Hopefully I'm going to work on getting even more next year.
When you design that schedule, right, like you're putting it together right now, that's what you're doing with some of this time. If you're not doing drive-by appraisals. I'm sorry I have to laugh at the drive-by appraisal, but I understand why the drive-by appraisal is necessary right now at the same time. So when you're putting that schedule together, you always try and put the best teams on it. Would you try and duel like an Edison, or would you bring them to your tournament, or what would you do with them?
Either one. What we've been talking about right now is doing a duel. I'd like to do it actually during school and get both student bodies in the building at the same time, and a bunch of fans, and really make a big deal out of the favorite to win in D3 against maybe one of the favorites to win in D2, and just have an awesome duel with 1,000 fans or so.
I'm going to try and get a camera there. If that happens, one of my cameras. We'll have multiple cameras there. If I can be there, I'll be there. If it's not during my school day, that's awesome. I love something like that. That's a great idea. I like where your head's at on that. I know Riverside did it this year with Chardon. and then Chardon's coming back to Riverside next year. So that'll be cool, and it's going to be an in-school, during the day. You know what I mean? That's really cool, actually. I really like that. How do you not wear your kid out? That's the big thing. I told you how my nephew hasn't really done a whole lot of wrestling. How do you not wear your kid out?
He loves it. He decided, I don't know, what was he in, 7th grade or something like that, or 6th grade, 7th grade, somewhere along there. He said, I've been playing football. I played in the golf league, doing some other things, and he's like, Dad, I want to focus on wrestling. I want to be a Division I college wrestler, and I don't want to miss junior high Super 32. And he made his decision on his own that he wanted to focus on wrestling, and just the opportunities are there. I don't push him too much. I mean, I don't have to because he wants to do it on his own. Once in a blue moon, he'll say, "Hey, Dad, I don't feel well. I'm not going to go to this workout, or I'm not going to make a lift." But if it's once or twice a year, it's pretty rare that he doesn't feel like doing his thing.
So, how many other kids? You have 2 other kids, right?
Yeah.
You got 2 boys and a
boys, a freshman in college, and a daughter that's a freshman at Lake Catholic.
Okay, so you got 2 boys and a girl. How much different is it raising every kid? How different is each kid to raise?
They're totally different. Totally different. Each kid has different interests and different personalities, and it's different. But it's fun all the same.
Yeah, man, I'm learning a lot of this right now. I don't really know a whole lot, but I like to learn about things like that, and I'm learning my 2 kids are just they are not the same. Cole was telling me he has been blood round at Fargo, blood round at Super 32. He's lost in 2 state semifinals. Dude, something's got to go this guy's way, man.
Yeah.
Blood round at Ironman, I think he said, maybe. One of the years.
I think he was a round away his sophomore year from the blood round. This year, he rolled his ankle really, really bad in practice doing sprints. And we sat him at Solon, thinking, okay, we'll try to have him ready for Ironman. And he was nowhere near ready for Ironman, but he wouldn't listen. So we threw him out there, and he lost, 3-2 or something in maybe the 3rd round on the championship side. And there was just no way he was going to make it all the way through the tournament.
Yeah, that tournament too, right?
Yeah.
Freaking landmines everywhere, man. That tournament is unreal. My buddy came out, Kevin Roberts came out. He brought his kid from Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. They flew in from Spokane. They were here for 5 days for the Ironman. 5 days, dude. They showed up on a Wednesday and they left on a Sunday. Share that with your kid how lucky he is, where he's in the center of it all. Everything's like 45 minutes or an hour or 2 hours away. He's got it made. Let him know that. They were here for 5 days, dude. And the kid did take 7th. He's tougher than it's not. He's a 2-time Fargo All-American in freestyle. He's really good, Drew Roberts. But they were here for 5 days.
Yep.
That's in your backyard. Your kid can sleep in his bed every night.
Yep.
So it's crazy. So, all right, hey, you got anything else for me? What else you got for me? What am I missing here? What storyline am I missing? What did I miss? What didn't we talk about what do we got?
Geez, Zeb, I don't know. I'm real excited about next season. I think we got a great group of guys back. We got six state qualifiers back. I think a number of those guys would have been on the podium this year. I think we're going to have some impact freshmen potentially come in and get Tommy Ungrady eligible again when he transferred from Mayfield. Lost his eligibility. We did appeal the OHSAA, but lost that appeal. But we get him back in the lineup. I think we can make some noise next year.
That's awesome. What's the big tournaments next year? Ironman, GIT, Wadsworth. Where else?
We'll go to North Canton and Brecksville. GIT, those would be the big ones.
Jeez, oh, Pete, you don't hide. You don't hide, and then you. Oh my God! And then who's your regional for state duels?
This year we had to wrestle Aurora in the finals, and we lost to Aurora by a point. They lose to Louisville by a point. You beat Graham by a point or two. I mean, it It's pretty tight.
So much crime on just Northeast Ohio. That's the big thing, man. That district, how you guys navigated that district this year, that was that was going to be the thing, and that was what kind of probably, you know, Louisville had so many big scorers, but they lost some guys that they were fringe guys that could have helped them with 7th and 8th place finishes, and everybody was going to get them on. Everybody was going to get 3 or 4 finalists, don't you think?
I think potentially, yeah.
I mean, look at it.
That's what it came down to, was getting the guys in the final.
Yeah, and that's what it comes down to. But I think that everybody's going to have an equal amount of finalists, and then it would have came down to 7th and 8th placers, 5th and 6th placers, right?
Yep.
Or guys who made the semifinals and then maybe slid to 6th, or were able to fight back and take 3rd. There's just, we really missed a great tournament, man. It does suck, and I hate ripping the freaking scab open, but it was such a. I mean, Division I, man. Division I would have been just off the chain. Oh.
Yeah, so many good matchups in Division I. I was looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too. So, all right. I got these 2 maniacs trying to get in here. Will you hang out on the line for a little bit?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, let me cut this live broadcast. Thanks for the time, Coach Hivnor. Good luck to the Cougars next year. We'll be catching up with you guys, obviously, at Ironman. I'm going to get the Miller boys in here to say goodbye to you, all right?
All right. Thanks, Ed.
Thank you.